So welcome back. Here we are in the Commanche in Iceland. Beautiful, beautiful Iceland. And we are back on our one engine out Iceland tour here in Akureyri.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box
Renault has
Twitch
already
channel subscriber experience.
started the engines, so let's get
please
going.
Make your way to the first class cabin, where
Yes, good
complimentary
evening,
drinks,
everybody.
snacks, and
Good evening,
premium
Renault.
Let's have a
entertainment
nice
will be
tour in
served.
Iceland.
Thank
Yes, so actually early today. Nice, 9 o'clock German time.
Very early.
Brain
Never
compiler.
had this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, that's true. Normally you have to wait for an hour. Brain compiler, thank you so much for the 31 months. Big round of applause for that. Brain compiler, nice to see you. How are you? So back in the Commanche, in this case, so we're still with our normal livery. That means, let's have a look for the maintenance. So we've had it running for 5.14 hours. The airframe, the engine, I seem to have updated at some point. So the engine only has 2.29 hours. But nevertheless, we are, of course, trying our best to treat it as good as possible. Fuel, I'm going to take a little bit of fuel here.
Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience.
My tanks are full
Can you
because I don't know
subscribers
how
please
many
make your way
legs
to
we
the
will fly.
first-class cabin,
We have time for
where
some.
complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium
Definitely.
flight entertainment will be
I would say
served.
latest
Thank
midnight,
you.
that should be fine for me.
Yeah, I prepared 5 legs. Let's
Hi
see how
Black
many
Box.
we
Hope
can
you
do.
are doing well.
Hey,
Wishing
Harry.
you all the best for your 787 type rating. It is very exciting.
It is
Sending
indeed.
best wishes to you and your family as always.
Big love. Thank you so much.
BB711 beloved BB711.
Thank you so much, Harry. First of all, the support, 60 months and 5 years, that is. And then with the kind words, Harry, I hope you're doing well. And yeah, one day we'll find time to fly together. Thank you so much, Harry, and I hope you're doing well. Hope all is good. So let's go with the checklists. Let's go pre-flight is actually no, pre-flight is not completed yet. Let's go pre-flight. Walk around. There we go. So let's start here. Yeah, that is definitely nice. Oh, hang on. There you go. Yeah,
As I
Harry-
was waiting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
As I was waiting for you, Black Box, my sim crashed suddenly. Crashed to desktop.
Again, okay.
Yeah, second time for today.
Which driver, graphics driver, are you running?
I think it's almost the latest, maybe the pre-latest. I don't know exactly.
Okay. So normally, I would definitely go with the latest driver, especially with the X12, because you are using the X12, aren't you?
Yeah, I do.
So-
Yeah, we'll try. I will have a look if there is a newer one, and then I will install it.
Because normally, any kind of crashed desktop that I have, it's always usually linked to a driver version. Can't really see much there. Man, I don't know. I've seen so many videos lately with planes crashing, helicopters crashing. There's so much going on at the moment. It's
It's not unusual, Black Box. It was all the time, but now the YouTubers are keen on it to show it and make their codes with it.
yeah, that's probably true. Oh man, there was a trick here for the. I forgot how to drain fuel here.
I think general aviation is kind of dangerous. People will say that the most dangerous is the drive to the airport. This is true for the airline aviation, but not for the general aviation.
Well, I always say that you have to treat general aviation with the same kind of professional attitude as flying, professionally. You only have one chance. If something goes wrong, and I mean, an engine can fail, even if you did do proper outside checks and you've treated everything accordingly. Engine may still fail, but you should be on the lookout for landing fields. Be alert, have a plan B ready. Never take anything too lightly, or never become complacent, as we say.
There are pilots which say, I don't need a checklist. I started up this engine 500 or 1,000 mile or 1,000 mile, and I don't need a checklist. But that's completely wrong. I think even you flying the Airbus 10,000 legs or so use the checklist every time.
Yeah. Not only that, every outside check, I check everything as I've been taught to check. I don't make any compromises.
Yeah. And all that rules made from your airline and from the government are made with blood, I think. Yeah. It has all its reason.
Yeah. So there we go. That's the outside check done, completed. So Brent, have you started up your sim again, or?
Once again?
Have your simulators running again, or?
Yeah, okay. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so then we go. Park and brake is.
The problem was before you arrived here in the Discord.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it was just happened now. Flaps up, radios off. Avionics master is off.
Have you set the Norway tour weather again?
Yep. I have.
Yeah, very good. Because when you use standard weather, we already have here snow.
Yeah, I saw that. Weird.
I don't know if it is realistic, but I don't like it because it covers the beautiful landscape.
Yeah. I don't think it's snow covered at the moment.
Maybe in the Highlands, but here down in Akureyri or in Reykjavik, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, engine starting. Fuel selector, decide tank. Let's go with the left tank on. Then mixture full rich. Prop full forward. Throttle is correct. Master switch on. Then fuel pump on. I don't know what I'm not sure if it's a bug or I don't get any more fuel pressure increases here.
Maybe something need an overhaul?
No, because if you look into the maintenance log, everything's fine. There's nothing. So electric fuel pump, I can switch that on, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And hang on, let me just check. Inspect. So yeah, fuel pump is fine. Oh, I've got number 3. Maybe that's a little bit. Not sure what number 3. What that means if it's a little bit yellow. But we'll see. Good. Controls. I normally wouldn't really know about it internally unless the engine runs rough or something. Primer.
Yeah, prepare for an emergency landing. But it's difficult in Iceland.
Yeah. That should be fine. Mags to both. And then clear prop.
Nobody in Germany calls that.
No?
Only in the US, I think.
Gonna lean the engine. So oil pressure, check. Oil pressure is in the green. Mixture lean as required, done that. Next will be taxi primer locked. It is locked. Avionics master on. Altimeter set. Agent B, no. So B, I was planning to, I hope you're doing well, first of all. I was planning to fly the Concorde today, but I got a message from the developers asking if I could delay that for a couple of days. Because they are planning to bring out a update. So I said, yeah, I'll do that Sunday. Okay, so let me just quickly enter the flight plan. So set origin and Brenner always knows what approaches we're planning.
Of course, we do the RNAV 36. And transition is PVAX.
Roger.
And we'll do a direct to this entry of this approach.
Okay. Good. Smart
So
cars.
cruising altitude, by the way, 6,500.
Okay.
Yeah. Smart cars, exactly. Yeah.
It's
Don't
running.
forget.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to go.
Roger. Engine slowly warming up. Oil temperature's a little bit cold still. Good. Yeah, I'll be ready in about 30 seconds. So radio's on. This one on as well. Altimeter set. Transponder as required. So let's go.
Which flight level does your transponder show?
Transponder?
Yeah, for me the transponder shows -02, but I don't know why.
Where do you see that?
The transponder has an altitude readout for me. But I have a different aircraft than you. Maybe you don't have it.
Yeah, no, I don't have.
Okay.
Good. So we got heading indicator set. Right. So we've got track 007. Let's set that as well on the compass rose. Let's match
We
that
will
up.
take off to the south,
Mm-hmm.
and then we do a shallow right turn. I think maybe you can also enter Kilo November and Tango Oscar as en route waypoints. But the problem here is you can't enter en route waypoints after you entered
yeah.
the arrival route.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we do it manually. These are two beacons. Maybe we can fly this visually with using of
Hang
the
on.
beacon.
Hang on, Brendan. Can you name again the first?
It's the Kilo November beacon 364 megahertz or kilohertz? Kilohertz.
Okay. Just checking if that maybe has worked.
I think it works because we used it in the approach as well.
Okay. Okay, now it's work. Okay, now it's in. And after Kilo November?
After that, Tango Oscar 324.
Tango Oscar 324. Oh, no, oh, you mean the beacon? It's just Tango Oscar. Okay.
Yeah.
Enter. And that is this one here, I guess. It's weird. I have to do it twice.
And one more interesting thing is you need a 214-degree radial into Tango Oscar. Otherwise, you're going into the mountains. Also flying until Kilo November, and when you reach Kilo November, go direct to Tango Oscar, stay on the 215-degree radial, and when you reach Tango Oscar, go to 267 degrees, and then we can use the GPS flight plan for for the rest.
Yeah, you're right. It's weird that it's got it in the flight plan, but it's not showing. But I've programmed it. Okay, cool. So forward, gode vi on Tibet 7 Bob. Bob, thank you so much. Where are you? What are you up to now? So landing gear looks fine. Nav lights as required. Gonna put pitot heat on. And off we go.
Okay.
And you said we're going to take off to the south.
Exactly. But I think we need to backtrack a bit.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Bob. I hope you're doing well.
This is a nice airport here. I like it.
And again, a beautiful surrounding.
Maybe sometimes you can try to land here with an Airbus or 737.
Yeah, definitely.
It is possible. We did it years ago, and it's very exciting.
Yeah. So let's have a look. What do we need for departure? Ach so, Run-Up muss ich ganz kurz machen. Yeah, quick magneto check, because there is one of the engines is or the cylinders may need an overhaul soon. We'll see. But currently, it's still good.
Can you see a compression loss or something like that in your engine instrument in the aircraft?
It was number 3, so no, there's nothing really showing up there.
Okay.
So nothing unusual.
Have you already done a run-up?
No, we'll do that in a second.
Let's see what the magnet check says.
Yeah, that was one of the things. It was a bit surprising, but I think they fixed that initially now. So the engine was running for like 5 minutes and already had a fouled spark plug, which is of course.
Yeah, it's a bit overdone.
Yeah.
I turn in front of you, and then I will take a first. Tell me when you're ready with your run-up.
Right, park and brake set. Fuel quantity is checked. Mixture, let's put that full rich, and then we go throttle 2000 RPM. There we go. That's about 70 drop. 70 drop. Yeah, both have the same drop. So less than 100, less than 125. We'll cycle the props. Check the carburetor heat. Make sure there's no icing. Looking good. And that's the run-up checklist completed.
Ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, the sound is just brilliant. So tap the brakes and gonna wait with the gear retraction a little bit. Just have engine failure now because still land. Now comes the gear up. So let's go flight plan. Gonna go direct to Keenness. Yeah, so that's straight ahead with the beacon. Oh yeah, okay, I got the routing, yeah. That's through the valley as well, right? And you said 5,500 or something.
Yeah, 6.5, yeah.
Okay, 6.5, fantastic. So I'm gonna go with first manifold pressure. I think it was at 23 or something.
I need to dial down the sound here because I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Now it's better.
Or was it 24? Oh, I think it was 24. So 20.
What do you mean?
So the Commanche wants 24 for the climb power, 24 manifold and 2400
Oh, okay.
RPM. There we go. Cool. Let's put this to GPS. I'm gonna dial in the course, which is 215.
So the next beacon is 324.
So Shias, how do you pronounce that? So I think Shias. Good evening. How are you doing? Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievably beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
Okay, we are inbound now to Tangoska.
Yeah.
So I am going to...
So we need at least 4 or 5 to clear the mountains before we turn. What I think should be good.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So let's go with heading. I want to intercept the track. Going to keep up climbing like this, passing 4.5 now. And I'm going to press that button again for low tracking, GPS mode. So now
You're really already on 4.5? Wow.
Yeah.
Then you're climbing much faster than me.
Yeah, now we've got the headset on. Thanks for the tip. Oh, manifold pressure has dropped a bit, so let me go increasing into 24. So Shay, okay. It's just pronounced Shay. Okay. Good evening. How are you doing? I would assume you're also flight simming. What's your favorite aircraft? Alright, yeah, 6.5 should be good, Brennelt, regarding the clouds.
Yeah.
So once I'm happy with the altitude, I'm going to trim down a bit, trim a bit more, and then the aircraft will accelerate. I'm going to put altitude hold mode. And as we increase the speed, we have to trim down. Otherwise, the autopilot will tell us here, trim up, trim down here. Now I'm going to slowly set our cruise power. See, now it's telling me to trim down. So trim down, and when it's happy, it'll stop beeping at me. Oh, I should have... it's not following the track here. It's going right.
Have you already leaned?
Yeah, about 2. I'm just need to navigate first. So let's go down here. Flight plan. Okay, let's go direct to Pivax here. Let's do that. Good, 6,500. So now we're going to lean. What I'm going to do is I am going to lean slowly, and I would assume it should be somewhere around 14 gallons per hour. So I can pull back the mixtures, fairly quickly. Antenna gets about 14. And I'll just let it settle there, see where the EGT peaks out. And again, it's going higher, even though I'm not leaning anymore. So it takes a couple of seconds until it reaches its maximum. So Shay, you're saying your favorite sim is the 738. Nice. That's definitely a good aircraft, yeah. So track should be 269, a bit pretty much west. So let's orientate ourselves here. That's good. Alrighty, so it's stabilized. I'm going to lean further now. So leaning for 65% horsepower roundabout. So still going higher. And then once one of the cylinders reaches the highest, it'll tell me this here in this little computer. And then I'll go 50 degrees rich of peak. So 13 gallons. Normally, it's at this altitude, it's about 13 gallons. So number 4 now is getting hottest. See the temperatures from the gas temperature. Now getting very close to leaning, or the hottest. .5. So it's losing power a little bit. Now I'm leaning more, but it seems to have found its peak. There we go. So now I'm enriching again. You can see -6. I'm going to put this to -50. Rich of peak, ROP, rich of peak. So adding a bit more fuel, a bit more mixture, But slowly, you need to let it stabilize. So I think it's about 13.5, I would say. I just put in a little bit too... No, there we go. So about 14 gallons per hour. And there we go. That should be it should be fine here. 40.2. Good. Which is your favorite aircraft that you've flown in real life? 747. Although I have to say, 737 was fun, but 747 had the most fascination for me, if you like. This aircraft is fantastic. So, Brenold, how many miles do you have to Pivax? I've got 20.
Pivax.
22.7.
Have a look. Pivax is 20.9.
Okay, so you're slightly ahead of me. Okay, cool.
Yep. Because I climbed a bit slower than you. Maybe for that reason.
Okay. Let me get the chart out for the approach here. So we go back. Charts. Approaches. RMP 36. So we arrive via Pivax, then it's pretty much straight in. The 002. We need to be Pivax at, it seems like 5-1 until 3 miles 2 Kilo Romeo India 36. And then we'll go down to 4-6. Then past Kilo Romeo India 36, we'll go down 3-7 to 3 miles prior to the final fix, and then we descend down to 3,240 absolute final descent, 3.1 degree down, and the minimums today are, just take the LNAF minimum, 360 feet.
And my calculation says top of descent for me in 4.5 minutes already.
Good. Missed approach via the waypoints back again. It should have that programmed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are doing almost VFR, so we will not fly this missed approach procedure. We will then do a right-hand pattern and try it again.
Yeah. Good. Target altitude, we said 5,100. Target waypoint was Pivax. Yeah, so I'm descending in about 3 minutes with 500 feet per minute.
Yeah, but when your descent is too shallow, then you get maybe in contact with the mountains.
Okay, we'll have a look. But should be 5,100 should be safe, though.
Okay. Yeah, in the first moment, yes, but later on, when you do a shallow descent, then you get low, and then you have problems with the mountains.
Yeah, but the Pivax is on final. So let me just see. What am I missing?
Okay.
Let me see.
It's correct. Yeah, it's correct.
Pivax. Yeah, should be fine. At least from the map as well. So let's have a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, we had lots of thunderstorms this afternoon. Seems to be part of some oof. Wow, yeah. Some roads a little bit flooded.
Okay.
It didn't affect me here, but yeah, all good.
And the weather here was terrible as well.
Okay.
Crazy, raining all the day.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch tanks here. Everything is good. Temperatures look fantastic. Nice. Now there's one. There is one. Beacon there. Let me just have a look if I can find that. It's on here. Well, not needed for the procedure, anyways. Yeah. So, buddy. Yeah. So I had to postpone it. There's an update coming out for the Concorde regarding FPS performance fixes and some other fixes, including flight controls. So that's why.
Have you already tried to fly it?
Yeah, I've practiced a lot, and I've done like 3 or 4 takeoffs, climb outs until supersonic. So we really, well, I would need to try descent and approaches, but I think that shouldn't be too much of an issue.
But you fly with the virtual flight engineer, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it gets very difficult.
Yeah, the thing is, the workload is just way too high. If you and you know, the flight engineer station is very complex. So.
But is the virtual flight engineer able to deactivate?
Yep.
Because I heard you can't deactivate it right now.
Okay, could be. They did say, well, they did say you can go like full professional mode, so you can do everything yourself. But maybe that's not completely implemented yet. Yeah, I don't know, I've not tried it because that would definitely be too much for me.
Yep. It's because Concordex looked into that, and he was kind of sad that he couldn't not deactivate the virtual flight engineer.
Yeah.
Because he's used for years
Yeah.
to fly this thing by himself.
I don't think anybody can fly better than he can.
Yeah, of course. If you don't fly anything other than the
Wow.
Concorde.
Wow. I understand the fascination, like I said in a previous stream. You just get so immersed, and you know, flying. You don't well, unless you fly DCS or mess about with, I don't know, some other fighter in Max Flight Sim. You don't have any aircraft that fly and simulate, you know, this kind of flight.
No. So, starting to descend.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Descend until 3200, and then maybe we can activate approach mode.
So, descending 5,100. So I'm just using the trim. So the trim switch here, nose down, nose up, to determine the descent rate. I've got to monitor my airspeed. Power is pretty much idle now.
So I'm already at the point where I have to turn to
Mhm.
final.
Okay, so now I'm just leave that idle power, and so 5,100. Going to level off here, and just let the airspeed just drop back, and then monitor the turn to the next waypoint. That's really important. There we go. Yeah, it has activated. It should be turning any moment. Ooh, why is it going this way? Don't like it. Don't like it. Come on, turn right. Go heading here. So inbound was, what did we say? Pretty much north. Let's recapture that. Let's go direct.
I'm on 3-degree heading right now.
Okay. Oh, careful of the altitude. I need to go down to 3,700, I think it was. And a bit more to the right.
3,200.
Okay. Yeah, initial 3.7 until clear the ridge. I don't know why I didn't capture the nav mode there for some reason.
Have you switched to GPS?
Yeah, I'm on GPS, and I've got the flight plan direct to Kilo Romeo India 36. That is active. bit more to the right. 3,700, level off. I can put altitude engage there. That's fine. Trim down. So I'm going to try and recapture that now. So now I've got to wait until 3 miles prior to Kilo Romeo Foxtrot 36. So actually we are there. So I can disengage that. Altitude hold, let's descend. And why isn't it intercepting the final track? Let's drop the gear here. Nope, doesn't like it. Yeah, me too. I was talked about going on the Concorde for a trip to New York because I would have had the option to fly at a discounted price. So I've got prop full forward, mixture full rich. Here comes one set of flaps. 3,200, and we're descending now. So we're inbound. Three miles, 1,050. So let's keep coming down. One more set of flaps. Oh, wait, hang on. Disregard. Flight plan. Final. Ah, okay. Good thing I'm visual. Otherwise, I had to go around now. Yeah, for some reason, it's just not capturing the final track. No, it's MS Air. No, it's an RNF approach, so it's correct that I'm on GPS. That's fine. Just need to level off a little bit to regain the path. That's one thing that's always so dangerous when you have two waypoints that are literally the same name. So Kilo Romeo India 36 and Kilo Romeo Foxtrot 36. And I just got confused with the chart there because I thought I was further ahead. I was already at the final descent point, but I wasn't. And it would have helped, obviously, if we had been intercepting or if it were following the inbound track correctly. That would have reduced the workload. So now I'm trying to troubleshoot why it's not intercepting. So currently we're 2,600, so it should be about 8 miles out to the runway.
Okay. You are much lower than me.
Yeah, that's because I descended too early. Because I got confused with Kilo Romeo India 36 and Kilo Romeo Foxtrot 36.
Okay, understand. I'm on pass, and for me the final approach mode is working nicely.
Yeah, the Commanche unfortunately doesn't have the final approach mode, so I can only go LNAV with using the trim to descend.
Oh, okay.
So I can only use the LNAV minimum, if at all. I won't be able to do that.
I mean, if you like, you can fake it. Use the autopilot panel from the utilities in the GTN.
Ah, no, that's fine.
There you can press approach mode.
No, that's fine. So just going to continue now until we hit about 8 miles, and then we'll start descend again. Well, now 9 miles. Yeah, it's definitely not following the nav mode. I don't know why, because it is sequenced. So it now it's going towards the runway. So all of that. Oh, that's weird. I do have a glide slope indication now. That's weird. But I don't have an approach button, so.
Yeah, then you have a little help where you can see if you are too high or too low.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, I still have to check that conventionally. So let's see, we're on final track here, and currently we are 9 miles, 9.5 from the field. So 9 miles checks out at 3020. So 200 feet low, but that glide slope indication there shows correctly as well. So we're going to use heading, select, and trim for a descent rate there.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class?
Hey Mark, thank you so much for gifting us up to forward.
Premium flight entertainment
Dankeschön.
reserved. Thank you.
So big round of applause for that. So do I want full flaps? Yeah, full flaps selected, gears down and locked. Yeah, drifting a little bit to the left of center line, and now we are on path. Ground speed, what's about 100, a bit more than 100 knots. Slow down a bit fast here. So currently 7 miles from the runway, and 7 miles from the runway I should be at 2,360. So that adds up. That looks good with the glide slope indication there. So at least we're now back on track. Slow down further. Trim up a bit more. And then what we'll do is go autopilot off. And now just hand flying it down. Excuse me. What was that? Autopilot is off. I'm not sure why that jerked down like that. Weird thing is, it feels as if the autopilot is still engaged, but of course it's not.
Maybe switch off the main switch from the autopilot if you have one.
Yeah, it's off. Yeah. I think that's what Senshai meant with that aircraft feels a little bit too stable. Yeah, Jeremiah. Again, this part of Iceland is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely amazing. So now we're 100 miles an hour.
Oh, what a terrible landing. I have 4 knots wind from the right, and the plane was crabbing like 20 knots.
Okay.
Let's see if how it is on your landing.
I am going to try to see ground speed, direct track. Oh, it's got a deviation path pointer there as well on the Garmin. It's a little bit high. Let's correct that. Yeah, Jeremiah. I mean, you joined us on a couple of legs there, right, in Norway. So, yeah, Canada is still something that we need to do as well at some point. But Iceland is now first. Yeah, I searched for freeware sceneries here, but I think I only found one. Is it Bravo India India Sierra? But I think I have a payware for that one.
Oh, in Yasera, there's a payware, nice one.
Yeah. But I don't think we're going to reach that today. Because I don't know how many legs in that is. I can't lie, that one thing I'm really enjoying now at the moment, that the sim is running so smooth. It's very enjoyable. Yeah, so it's yeah. I think you're right. There's a bit of crosswind from the left.
And I think it's much more than 3 or 4 knots. 3 or 4 knots is so less you don't feel it.
So a little bit left rudder, right aileron. Just drop down a bit at the end. Well, it's quite a curved runway there.
Yeah, for me, it floated down the runway, and after touchdown, it was difficult to keep it on the runway.
Flaps coming up. Go right to the end of the runway there. Yeah, the windsock shows a bit crossing to the right now. So already leaning a bit. High-speed taxi down the runway. Favorite airport? Yeah.
Good night, Black Box.
Voyager, mach's gut. Danke dir. Bis bald. So yeah, I get asked that quite frequently, and I have to say I don't have a single most favorite airport. There's just you know, many airports that are fascinating, beautiful, and have challenging approaches. So I don't have a single most favorite one. So, I need to reset SmartCast, finish, file the pirate. Then get the next leg loaded.
Next one will be interesting again.
Towards
Completely different.
Bravo, India, Golf, Juliet.
Yeah.
Good, SmartCast is running, so let me have a look at the flight plan. We're going to go menu, delete, then go set origin. Is there any waypoints in between, Brennelt, that we need to fly?
Yes,
to?
okay. One waypoint in between.
Okay.
It is Bravo Lima Foxtrot 03. Two waypoints. Before that is, what is the name? Lima Alpha. It is also a beacon.
So the first one was Lima Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay. Lima Alpha and 10 miles away, yeah. And then thereafter, that was the waypoint.
Bravo Lima Foxtrot 03.
Bravo Lima Foxtrot 03. Yep.
And then we will do a procedure, which is an RNP RNAV Alpha with transition Takeoff.
Okay.
Load.
So,
And then we will do a visual pattern when we are close to the airport. Right-hand pattern. Let me see regarding the cruising altitude. Cruising altitude should be 4,000. So, trim and flaps reset, and then I'm ready.
Now, I tell you what, since the RNAV didn't really go well, I'm going to go with the NDB alpha.
Yes, of course.
And the transition was Golf Juliet, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would be ready to go.
You're ready to go? Okay, me as well. Then, let's go.
So again, left aileron, right rudder, now after airborne, relax, tap the brakes, so the wheels stop spinning, gears coming up. About 100 knots should be good for the climb, flaps are up, gears up. Hey, Flat Boozler, wie geht's hier? Yeah, so we're from Bravo India Kilo Romeo now, on course to Bravo India Golf Juliet, on the one engine out Iceland tour. So track should be 181, we'll set that. There we go. Same for the heading. Now let's see if I can get everything working again. So we're going to put autopilot on. It's a self-test from the aircraft. So I'm going to set about again 24 manifold pressure on here, and then we'll spool down the prop RPM to about 2400. There we go. Fuel looking good. Autopilot is ready, so we're going to enter now the heading mode first of all. Although we can go track mode, let's see if that captures it this time. And then I'm going to use again the trim, the pitch trim, if you like, elevator trim, fuel pump off, to determine the climb rate. That's looking good. And again, 6,500, Brennelt, or how high?
4,000.
4,000, okay. So a sharp right turn coming up.
Yep. There are only some high mountains first of all after the turn, and after that it's going flat almost.
So just for the viewers where we are right now regarding Iceland. So here's Keflavik. And so we're fairly much up north currently at the island. So let's go. Altitude hold. Let the aircraft speed increase. And I'm going to go with 22 roundabout. Trim down required.
Now captured?
Yeah, it seems okay now. Yeah.
Okay.
And then again, I'm going to use the same values as before. We're pretty much the same altitude, a bit lower. So around about 14 gallons per hour. trimming down. So that should give us the same kind of values. We can check here in the app. Yeah, that color looks all right. So not too lean, not too rich.
Maybe it burned the ash and now it works good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's running smooth. It's not rough or anything like that, so it seems to be okay. Fuel. Yeah, no need to switch the tanks just yet. Now, I'd like to have something conventional for the chart. Let's go charts. Bravo, India, Golf, Juliet. Oops. Golf, Juliet, enter. The approach, oops, NDB Alpha. So we want to set 340 beacon here. So we go dial that in here. 340. Oops. Got it. ADF is set. Now, if the needle goes 90-degree position, it means that it's not receiving it yet. Well, that's fine. We've got the... right, so I have a feeling... Yeah, let's do this a bit more aggressive. So we put this onto high mode, and let's see if it captures the tracking. It should be 311. So I'm gonna dial in that. So the thing is, it's not as if this is a localized or anything like that. So you have to set the course according to that track from Lima Alpha to the next waypoint, Golf Juliet. And we'll see if the autopilot now recaptures that. I mean, that's a very steep angle, so we'll see. Don't know why it says remaining minus 7.1. I don't know how to set that actually. 14 per hour, $61 remaining calculated. All right, so let's see. I mean, it is turning, that's nice, but it's a very slow turn. But it's fine, we're not in a hurry. Any advice you give to someone looking to become a pilot? Well, I don't know what age you are, but, you know, there's always certain steps you have to take. So first of all, of course, school. I know even if it's sometimes a bit of a tough grind, and there's many subjects that you don't like, but there is not a single subject that you should be. You're 19, okay. So assuming that you have all the academic qualification to apply for a job, depends then on the country. If there is the possibility to go with a larger airline, larger flight school, low cost or whatever. The problem is if you go, so in Europe, for example, it's a completely different matter than compared to the US. So in the US, there's still the 1,500-hour rule, meaning you would have to be probably CFI, so instructor first of all, to gain experience. And I'm just going to go heading here for a second, intercept that. And they get the flight hours before you can actually apply to become an airline pilot. Oh, there we go. So in the UK, looking into the British Airways Cadet Program. Yeah, good. So qualifications you got, that's fantastic. Next will be the interview process. So online you find all of the required things to apply. I'm gonna go with R2 hold off. First of all, let's climb a bit more. And then you would apply online, most likely. see if you can gain access to the cadet program, where you have some sponsoring, if you like. If you don't get into that program, I guess you would still get offered maybe training. Of course, paying for it, but then maybe getting a contract where you kind of have assured employment after successful training. Yeah, but before that, you're going to have to go through a interview process, and every airline, every flight school has their own requirements. So the test will be theory, normally also some tests regarding vigilance, regarding concentration capacities, multitasking, and then very important is also the social aspects. So are you a team player? And these days you have some psychologists that are monitoring these little games that they play. So role play usually, problem solving, and then they will have a look at your character, see what kind of person you are, how you integrate into a team, and the solution of course is that have a good solution. It doesn't mean everyone has to be the leader. It just means that a team has to be formed, right? And so if everybody knows their part in the team, and the outcome is positive, and the good solution is found, then that's perfectly fine. But yeah, again, there's different aspects, different requirements, and I can't say and I can't judge where they stand these days, because let's put it this way: training changes, aircraft technology changes, and it's perfectly fine to adapt to these. In the end, it's a training that has to make sure that you reach a certain level of knowledge and abilities, flying abilities. So let's try again. Alt hold here. There we go.
And if you like to become a pilot, there are some different options. If you don't like to go into airline, you can maybe go to the military.
Yeah.
They need helicopter pilots for transport or for combat, and they need also fighter planes and transport planes. And maybe if you become a helicopter pilot, then you can, after some years, can quit the military and go into the rescue service, which is very interesting as well.
Yeah, good point. So, like Brennan says, just get all the information, and then hopefully one of these things works out. So now let's see. I've got a feeling.
And last but not least, you can fly a private plane for hobby and earn your money otherwise.
Yeah, that's also correct. Okay, so we're now inbound to Gulf Juliet. Yeah, all the best wishes, Shay. I know, well, at least I can say that right now is a tremendous good time to, get into aviation. There's no guarantees, so that's something. One of the arguments I've heard, and I think it's a good argument, why young people these days are somewhat apprehensive to go into aviation as a pilot, because they've just seen what happens in case of a pandemic, how quickly things can come to a completely grinding stop for several years, and having a debt on your back, financial debt, it can be quite a strain. So something you would have to put into your personal risk assessment, if you like.
What do you think about studying something what you can use for another job if it does not work? If you cannot complete your pilot job, and then after the study, then you go and make the pilot career
Yeah.
as a backup. I mean,
Yeah, in principle, I would say it's a good idea. However, I am not totally sure how that works out. So let's say you study, I don't know, become an engineer, right? And then you go into 2 or 3 years of training, and then you kind of drop out or you get sick or whatever, and then you say, but I'm an engineer. But you have, you're already 3 years out from studying. The question is, how likely is it that you're going to get a job as an engineer without any work experience?
Maybe you don't need a job. You make your exam, and then you are graduated engineer, and after that you apply as a pilot for the pilot schools. And if you are not successful getting a pilot, then you can go back into your job which you are studied for.
Yeah, but that's the question. So let's say you've successfully applied and you start your training as a pilot, and then somewhere near the end, let's say after 2 years, you drop out, or let's say after 4 years you get sick and you can't. So you have 4 years where you haven't worked as an engineer, and your studies have been long gone. The question is, I don't know. I can't answer that question because I don't know how the market works these days. Because every year you have fresh engineers leaving university.
The same can happen when you don't do this study and you go directly to your flight school, and then you get sick and can't continue. Then you have nothing.
Well, so you have what you definitely is a loss of license insurance, and that is something every pilot has to get, because that's exactly what it's for these cases where you lose your license because of illness, and then you at least have some money to help you in every day-to-day tasks. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be rich from that, but at least you're not going to have to worry about losing your rented flat or your house, etc. And then you have time maybe to then study something or find another job somewhere. It's not how would I say? So the risk of losing your license will always be part of your career as an airline pilot. Always. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50. You can argue, well, if you drop out at 50, at least by that time, if you've not spent all your money on stupid things, you should have a certain amount of wealth that would help you then to live from, and not really requiring for you to get study something else and a thing. But then, of course, what I would argue is, well, if you're like 45 and you lose your license, well, you don't want to just sit around and do nothing, right? Everybody needs something to do, right? You need tasks. You need a reason to get up in the mornings and get yourself motivated to do something, right? And that's always personal, or regarding your character. There's people that will be happy just doing a very easy life, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, I know I always need something to do. I need tasks. I need to have my brain involved, So for me, I still have a good loss of license insurance, but I've always been happy to know that, for example, if I'd become sick, let's say 5 years ago, and I lost my license, well, I could have live streamed. So with the money from the insurance and a couple more dollars or euros from the streaming, that would have been fine. I would have something to do. I've got a nice community, sense of purpose. So yeah.
But when you're young, coming from the school, you have only your school, and you don't do a study and go directly to the flight school, and then you get sick or you are not good enough. Let's say it easy. You are not good enough to get a license. What do you have then? Then you can go out and you have a low-profile job. You can't do anything but nothing which is enjoyable and which gives you enough money to live good.
Yeah, but I mean, normally, well, unless you're that sick that you can't go and work or study anymore, hopefully then the insurance will help you at least live off something. But if you're young, you would definitely go and do, eine Ausbildung studieren. You would still do something.
Yeah.
But again, it's more a matter of as you get older, let's say 40, there's a kind of a time frame, let's say between 35 to 50 in that range, where it can also be quite critical. But absolutely, you just have to realize that going in, and I think a lot of young people understand this these days, that the job as an airline pilot has some really bad downsides and risks. And like I said, Brennelt, these days these GA aircraft are very fascinating. They're high tech these days, and why not go after some other job that you do find interesting as a engineer, programmer, whatever, and then on your free time go and fly these GA aircraft. You may be happy with that as well.
So now coming close to our airport almost, and the procedure says we're flying directly into the airport, but we will switch off the autopilot a mile before, and we will fly to the left and do a right-hand pattern into runway 04.
Okay, I will just have a look at the chart so see what you mean. Charts. So, well, the normal procedure would be we fly overhead, but you want to go directly from the sea. So from the
but otherwise we need to fly overhead and do the left-hand pattern to runway 04. But there is kind of mountains, so it is not good to fly there, I think.
So you mean we just do a simple VFR visual approach? So we come in. And then go
exactly.
So left-hand patterns or right-hand pattern?
Right-hand pattern.
So we go towards the mountains and turn very, very like a very small pattern.
No, you 1 mile before you reach the airport, you turn left, more than 90 degrees. I think 120 degrees.
Yeah.
And then you are on the visual pattern. Fly 1 mile out. Until you almost reach the mountain, and then you turn back.
Yep. So
okay. Completely messed up here, the pattern.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted there. Okay, yeah. So
I'm way too fast. That's the problem. I'm on 160 knots and I need to fly this here with 100 knots or so.
Yeah, then do one very steep, like 45-degree steep turn, and then that should help. Does this thing only have version with DME, you mean? With the classic engine? Well, you can deactivate the Garmin. So you have the option to go here, no GPS, for example. And then you would only have the classic instruments. Oh no, I think that is pretty much always in. Yeah. So I need to find the airport first of all. So I think it's on this part here. Yeah, so we turn left. And then, that should be the runway somewhere there. Cool.
And it's kind of a short runway.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, the thing is, regarding why a lot of young people these days don't go into aviation anymore is, like I said, one of the big issues is the risk of things like pandemic, war, economical downturn, where you have a lot of debt and then no job. Another thing is, just like Brenner just mentioned, the issue with the fact that if you get sick or you fail your last check rides, you end up having nothing and debt. And then, the other downfalls with regards to, depending on if you work for a low cost or an airline that has a home base somewhere where you're home every day, or like I'm in my career, I've always been on patterns where I'm away from home anywhere between 3 to 5 days, and that has an impact on your social life for sure. So you got to be aware of that. I always say, don't over romanticize being an airline pilot. I know Instagram makes you believe that it only has good sides, like beautiful sunset sunrises and flashy uniforms, lots of money, but it's not always like that. So don't fall for that that kind of one-sided opinion there. It's a great job, don't get me wrong, and like I said, if I had a chance to completely relive my career again, I would do that without a second thought. I would definitely do that. It's been fantastic. However, I cannot say what happens in the next 20, 25 years. What happens with single pilot concept, AI, system changes, autonomous flying, whatever. Okay, so fifth bill. The thing is this. So I mean, like I've just mentioned. So fifth bill. I think it's very brave that you. Well, brave is a kind of a wrong word, but that you actually go and say, that you regret being a commercial pilot for whatever reason, right? There may be different aspects for you compared to others. I would just like for young people these days to really don't just jump in and not have second thoughts about these important decisions, because we're talking about a very long lifetime decision to make, especially if you're spending so much money in that training. Just going to do a 360 here. Well, slightly about no, I don't think it's so. I'll tell you one of the huge plus sides that I would say is being an airline pilot is the fact that, let's say, even if you fly the same routings, every flight is different, right? You always have different things happening, weather, aircraft, passengers, whatever. And then as you get more experienced and you go into becoming maybe at sometimes a captain, so commander, that opens up another new door with very fascinating aspects. So for me, this career has always been fascinating, challenging, and fun. Apart from all the negative sides, but I think the positives for me, the positives have always been much greater than the negatives. But this is just me saying, because I've had a tremendously lucky time and career, and the prospects I've had, it's not always been rosy, but I would definitely say that I've been very, very lucky. And so, if I could, if you'd ask me, and you would have the guarantee that you're going to have exactly the same career as I would, then I would say do it, absolutely. If you love aviation, and you have to guarantee that you're going to have the same career as I've had, do it. But these days it's not so easy. It just doesn't work that way. So things have changed.
You need to fly 90 degrees to the left black box.
Yeah, I'm just a bit too high still, so I need to slow down, gears down.
Yeah. You need to do the complete traffic pattern. You have enough space to descend.
Lol. Why is that? So my left aileron zooms me in? What is that?
Yeah, there are some buttons double linked.
That's all right now. Cool. So autopilot is off. Gear is down. I'm going to put the props for forward, mixers for rich. Keep descending, although I need to slow down first. Yeah, flight rules exactly. So, you know, many different options to do. Yeah, Bob, I mean, if you have to fund yourself, and especially right now with the interest rates going through the roof, that's another big hurdle for young people to consider and look at.
That's the advantage. If you go to the military, you don't have to pay for your pilot.
Yeah. Downside there is you have to be aware you may find yourself in combat at some point.
Can happen, yes, of course. But hopefully not.
So flaps are full. Now we can descend a bit quicker.
Think about you are able to fly that amazing A400. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Oh yeah, Harry. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. So if you've considered everything, and you know, I can't speak for everyone. So if you're sure, you have the passion, and like I said, follow your dream, by all means, you know, do it. So like I said, Brenold, it's a short runway, so it's kamikaze.
Yeah, it's not that short.
Okay.
I think it's about 1,000 meters or so.
Okay, let's make sure all the gear's down, flaps are full, 100 knots, 100 miles per hour, I should say, 90 knots, trying to get onto profile. I mean, that's what I like about GA flying. I mean, you shouldn't go completely crazy, but I mean, you know, it's not an airliner, you have some options.
And normally in GA flying, you would prepare much better than we do this year.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
You have
should.
your chart, you would do telephone calls and something more, and calculate weight and balance and so on.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's again a bit wind from the right, yeah, definitely. So low wing, rudder, flare. Oh, why are these so undulated? Christ. Yeah, keep that aileron in.
Because the landscape is undulated, and to flatten this landscape would be expensive.
Yeah. Even in flight simming.
yeah, in flight sim not, but
yeah.
In reality it is.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wonder if it's really that undulated. I doubt it, but
I don't know.
Right, leaning the engine. Yeah, you know, I think ooh, that was leaned a bit too much, maybe. There we go. I mean, you know, I would say literally every job has upsides and downsides, right? So, you know, just be objective and, you know, have a look at all the pros and cons, look at your character, look at your preferences, and then make a decision. If you can, of course, yeah. But like we just found out, there are some other hurdles there that can be an issue. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly park, set up the next flight.
If you make your hobby to a job, I mean, it's a nice option, and I did the same. But when you are then in your job and you do every day these things, then it becomes a kind of boring after years, and then you can't do whatever you like, because there are some people who tell you what you have to do, and you have to do that even if you don't like it. It's in every job, so I think.
Yeah, and that's why it's so tough to, especially a young person, to find a job that you think you're going to be enjoying for many years.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some jobs obviously where you can change companies, and that's kind of a change as well. But yeah, it's so let's go menu, delete. Okay, right. So we're flying to Bravo India, Bravo Lima.
Yeah, it's a very short hop, only over the bay.
Okay.
Then we are there. But we will do a procedure.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Duo Channel Experience.
The RNAV 3
Could
with
new
transition
subscribers please make their way to
WEFA.
the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight infotainment will be served.
Slightly, but
Thank you.
that's really kind of you. Another gifted sub to Pilot Deviation. Big round of applause. Oops, big round of applause. Wrong button there. Thank you so much. That's really kind, Slotty. Thank you. Approach. Sorry, RNAV 3?
Yes, RNAV 3 with WEFA.
WEFA.
And cruise is 35.
Roger. So that is all set. I would be ready.
Wonderful. Then let's go.
So flaps are up, mixture's full rich, prop full forward. Tank's looking good. Let's go. Mark, yeah. I just noticed, Mark, you always have people flying you to your holiday destinations. Right, tap the brakes. And gears coming up. Living the dream. Oh dear. Right, we go a bit to the right. Track should be 165. Actually, right? No, left.
Left, yes.
So 165. Man, I got distracted there. So, and again, we're going to go 2400 manifold.
Can't activate my nav mode.
Okay.
I have a GA mode, and I can't insert a press on nav. Weird.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have to fly it visually, manually.
Track 147. Oh, that's why. So currently, I need to readjust or recalibrate my heading there. There we go. That looks better. So let's go heading.
Okay, even heading does not work.
Okay, let's have you
recycle the flight director. Maybe it helps. No, it does not. It's broken.
conventional approach. Yeah, one thing I'm definitely going to follow along because it does interest me. So, for example, the European Flight Academy. To give you some numbers, a certain CEO of a big German airline said they're going to be requiring 500 pilots, new pilots a year for the group airlines. I mean, it's a big group, but still, 500 pilots is a lot. And then they have their European Flight Academy, and that will not turn out 500 pilots a year. I heard Turkish Airlines, for example, say they want to increase their pilot output from currently, is about 400 pilots a year right now or something, or 300, and they want to upgrade that to 2,000 pilots every year.
How can this work? I think they need first they need a person to apply for this job, and they have to be sufficient for this job. And to find these persons every year, I think it's kind of difficult. Or they have to lower the limits.
That would be one option, or make more cadet programs. So, sponsorings.
Yeah. Maybe like in other jobs, the education should be free of charge.
Yeah. So PPL. I've heard the same thing. The problem is I don't have anyone at that flight school. I don't know if it's just rumors or not. But yeah, I've heard as well that they've got huge issues filling the courses. Well, actually, I know someone who's successfully applied. She's a flight attendant, and they asked her if she can start the next month, and she said, "Well, no, because I've got to cancel my previous contract first of all, and then I need to arrange some things in my life to start moving places and start training, etc." So it was a clear sign that they couldn't fill in the courses quickly enough, if at all, and apparently they did have to cancel some of them as well. So yeah, but Shay, you know what? Shay, I would say probably demand is going to be higher, but obviously they want to limit the cadet program, so the sponsoring to a certain degree. So, and I guess they're still hoping for enough people to switch offline again. I don't know what it is today. Really weird.
Oh, for me not, but I have continuous problems with the autopilot. I think after this lag I have to reload my plane.
Okay. So I'm going to go with altitude hold here. 5. Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about this so many times regarding pilot demand worldwide, and of course the biggest demand coming from Asia Pacific regions, but the US is also requiring a huge amount of numbers of pilots, and Europe as well in the end.
But why they don't use bigger planes instead of more pilots and more planes?
Well, they've tried that, Brenold, with the A380, but the concept of having more just big hubs, and then have these huge aircraft going from these big hubs to big hubs hasn't worked out. Most people, especially business people, they want to go directly to the smaller local airports. They don't want to go and commute or have to change planes twice, because we've seen how unreliable and how chaotic that can get. Your luggage not being transferred, or you're missing it on onward flights because delays, etc. So people really just want to go A to B, right, direct, without having to change.
For example, changing the A320, 321 to A330 maybe with 100% more on board could be the way.
Maybe it will come, because I just heard today that that Lufthansa is actually also getting the last 2 A380s working again. So we're going to have 8 flying again. And you know, you've got British Airways, I think 380s as well. Qantas still carrying on, and you've got Emirates, etc. So maybe they have a second life now, because for the reason that you just mentioned, Ronald.
Yeah, I think of course, you can't fly with an A380 to airports like Hamburg or so. I don't know, but it would not be economical. But an A330, I think this could be the reason. The solution,
so interesting. So PPL or PP Life says he's going to be in October course at the European Flight Academy, and they had to cancel the September course because of lack of applicants. Well, I mean, that's interesting to hear. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's exactly. So PPL, I know the EFA is giving you contracts where you already have like a discount, but also then telling you if you don't get offered a job after your training, 50% of your training costs are being waived. But I think one of the big issues is that you don't actually know until the end for which company you're going to fly for. And that can have a quite a large impact on your income afterwards. And then, like you said, initial costs are high because interest rates right now are high. The cost of living is high. Yeah, so thanks, Humber. Yeah, so this is actually Reynolds' file. So he made the clouds. So using preset that Reynolds made. Humber, this aircraft is very good, absolutely. And you know, if you like GA aircraft and like all the gimmicks, including wear and tear and failure rates, you can challenge yourself. Interesting. So Bruno is talking about modular kind of way to go, and Bruno has studied. He's got a job. He's earning money, and so yeah, he can go bit by bit and just monitor the situation, and yeah, it's also a good way to go. Yeah, but again, I'm curious. I'm monitoring the situation. I'm wondering what the managers will decide to do, because expansion is huge. A huge amount of planes have been ordered that will be delivered in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and they need to train the pilots now because the hardware is arriving. But if you don't have the pilots with it, it's going to be tough. That's a good question, Shay. So you question, if it's a CPL or if it's a ATPL or MPL. I don't know. Do you have MPL in the UK actually? Because I know it's the EASA has MPL, but do you have that in the UK as well? So I'm already going to go descend a bit. So let's get the charts out for the approach. Bravo, India, Bravo, Lima. Let's prepare a bit ahead of time. Select approach, RMP 03. So we're going to VEFA. Oh, it's going to be 5,000. Okay, so I've got to level off here.
Yeah, but you don't really need the 5,000.
Okay. Oh, don't know if the procedure says. I think last time was just a bit too fast. That's all. So I'm gonna go back altitude hold, slow down, and just take it a little bit slower. So from VFA 5000, we'll descend 3.5 to Bravo Lima India 0. Oh yeah, Bravo Lima India 03, 3.5. On final, step down 2.4, and then direct. Up a bit. You know what I would like to see, and maybe that would help a little bit, is if you get your training paid, and then you would have to have a commitment, let's say 5 years, with that company, and then I would see that as a win-win. Yes, initially it costs, I don't know, 200,000 euros or 150,000 euros to train that pilot, but imagine how expensive the planes are, and other expenses that you have. So for a huge airline, for example, the volatile oil prices and kerosene prices, that in relation to pilot training costs is just not comparable. So having training an asset for your company, and have him identify then with that company, and then as a company, as that pilot's working for you, well, if he's enjoying that company, if he's enjoying his job, if he feels valued, well, why would that person then go and leave?
And when you pay for them for the education of him, then you can make a contract that he has to stay for at least 4 years, 5 years, or something like that.
Yeah, that's just what I said. So it's a win-win, right? And I don't understand. So it seems at the moment that bigger companies still think that there's enough applicants, by keeping prices over 100,000 euros or pounds. And then, even worse, what could happen is you may actually have a kind of a bidding war for pilots. So you could be faced with the fact that you've ordered planes and then suddenly you have 100 pilots leaving because they get a direct offer from another big airline. And then they're gone. Right? So yeah, people like I said, at the moment, if things stay as prosperous as and promising as it is right now, well, it's not going to be a big issue, is it? Okay, so you left a good paid job behind, but would you be able to go back into that job area if something goes wrong? Man, even though it's on high mode, it's just turning so slowly. Let me just get the autopilot off here. Let me help the autopilot.
That was one thing I disliked in the Commanche, as I had it in P3D. But apart from that, it's a very nice plane.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good thing then. Yeah. Yeah.
So on final.
I am descending down to 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 should be fine. Yeah, so we were turning prior to that ridgeline there. And the airport should be somewhere to the left there. Okay.
How about to become a CFI black box after your retirement?
I don't know.
Maybe for GA or for airliners? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. If I'm almost 54 now, and I don't know if that's something.
But it's you're young for retirement compared to other jobs.
Yeah, but still, I mean, but I've worked hard. Let's put it this way. So people sometimes don't realize, over the last 3 years now, or let's say 2 years, I've had periods where I've worked like 50 to 60-hour work weeks.
Oh, that's heavy.
And so it's been very tiring, and I don't know if I want to make myself forced to do something again.
So I'm landed.
Mm-hmm.
I will then quickly reload.
Okay.
And hopefully it will work again.
Yeah. So for me, I have the same issue that it just seems to disconnect the ANA function.
You think completely full restart of the simulator or only load the plane again?
Well, I think just going with the loading the plane should do it. I don't think it needs to reload the whole simulator.
Yep. Okay. Where are we?
So let me just have a look at the inbound course. Should be somewhere here.
Oh, this even has a small apron. Wonderful.
So it has sequenced. But somehow I doubt that it's going to recapture that again. So let me try that one more time, one last time. Low. Good. So we have to be 2,400 at Bravo Lima Fox 03. It's not capturing, is it? So flaps coming down full. So back on heading select. And then cross-checking the altitudes. 3.4 degree down. A bit more than what we had prior. Oh, let me just do something real quickly. I don't know why I got disconnected again.
Maybe first try to land and then reload the plane as well.
Let me just, because I want to see the lovely scenery. It's just, it doesn't make sense to fly and hey, wie geht's? Go back, resume. There we go. Look at the difference.
Wow, that's a huge difference. I think without connection, it looks worse than FS 2004.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so 2,500 right on the dot there. We can now slow down. Extras full rich, prop full forward. Got the flaps full, gears down. And so from here on, we just going to send with around about 600 feet per minute. Track here, so it is a little bit offset, it seems. Let's try to get visual with the runway. There it is. And here I've got my synthetic light slope indication as well, telling me I was just a bit low. I'm going to correct that. Am I from Germany? Das stimmt, genau. I am. Well, PP Life. I mean, I'm always honoured. You know, people watching my YouTube videos. I've had not long ago. I've actually had someone come into the flight deck. A little bit chit chat. He was a technician at my company, and then he asked if I make YouTube videos by any chance. So I've been recognised. Rarely, but still, yeah, but it always surprises me when someone comes up and says, hey. What I like to do is when I have a young person, let's say, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, come into the flight deck and, showing a huge interest, I always ask them, hey, do you have a flight simulator? And if so, which one? What's your favorite aircraft? And it's literally 50% of the time. Well, it's like 75% Microsoft Flight Sim, and the rest is pretty much X-Plane. And then it's either the TOLIS or Phoenix. So so it's fascinating. Yeah, a lot of young people these days have Microsoft Flight Sim. A light test. Well, Bruno, you will always get a light test if you visit my flight deck. Even if you don't want one. You'll get one. Good stuff. Alright, cool. On final.
Is he allowed to press the light test button by himself?
Bruno? Maybe. Actually, if Bruno came in, well, now I'm not flying 320 anymore, but if he had come in prior, if I know he'd been on board, I wouldn't have programmed the MCD. I would let him do it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know he can do it, so.
I know one was in the cockpit on the jump seat way before 9/11, and he was asked if he can press some buttons, and they say to him, "No, you can't. The only button you can press is this one here, and it is the volume knob for his headset."
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful, of course.
Yeah.
There's even over the panel. There's a lot of buttons that are critical.
There have been some people had children on the pilot's seat during flight, and I think this was does not have a good ending.
No, you shouldn't have anyone on a pilot seat at all. Even if you're on the ground, hydraulics switched off. You never know what kind of buttons they suddenly press.
Maybe accidentally entering the seat and touching with his feet any button.
Yeah.
And maybe destroy a button.
Oh, that was a greaser. Nice. Yes, Sunday. So Flashkeys. So Sunday, I'm planning to stream the the Concorde. Yeah, I had to delay that because of an update that is coming out soon, which will hopefully bring a little bit better performance and fix some issues, control issues, throttle lever issues apparently. So yeah, but Sunday, I mean, if the update doesn't hit by Sunday, I'll still fly Sunday. I'll just take what I have because I mean it's good, and we can do a flight with it, no problem. So now I'm interested to find out. Oh, I need to, oh, danger almost died on me there.
Why am I not able to activate the heading mode? Again.
Right, let me just try finish this flight, file a pilot before I forget. And then I want to have a look at the engine. Maintenance, engine. Yeah, so number 3, cylinder still worn out. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it's just bad luck or something, but
Maybe you need a new engine.
or at least do some overhaul. Right, so one more lick.
Yes. This time we don't have any procedure, we don't have any flight plan. We do it fully visual,
All right.
direct.
Yeah.
And then we will do a right-hand pattern to runway, I think 02 it is.
Okay. We're flying to Bravo India Hotel Kilo. Smart car's running. I'm ready.
Wonderful. I hope I'm ready as well. Hope I have nothing forgotten. Okay, let's go. Everything okay?
Yep. I don't know. Oh, the rudder was suddenly very, very sensitive here.
Yeah, here's everything sensitive in the simulator.
Pilot-induced oscillations, I would call that.
Ah ja, genau, exactly. PIO.
Yeah, exactly. It must be getting late, yeah. So, in a general heading of...
General heading is 289. No, can't activate heading mode.
Okay.
Weird. Maybe this plane can only fly 3 legs, and after that you need to log out.
Yeah, definitely strange. So, try and level off here, leaning the engine. No need to go too fast here.
And I find it really difficult in this plane to hold the altitude constant. It is
Okay.
always going up or down. I can trim whatever I like. One moment it is climbing, next moment it is descending.
Well, I guess here the Commanche is much better, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 4-4 is very cool plane, but sometimes it has its problems.
Mark, this is the 4th and the final leg, yeah. I'll
Really?
go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think I got it. I mean, we have a good chance again very soon, Brennell, to fly some more.
Yes, okay. The next airport is a very interesting one. It is Bravo India Sierra then.
Yeah, shall we do that proper preparation for the next time? Maybe announce it properly, maybe have
Yeah.
some people fly along.
We can do. Ísafjörður.
Yeah,
Maybe we can do it with a special aircraft.
yeah. Because it does, does take a bit more preparation,
Yeah.
and also I have to get up at 4:20, 4:30 tomorrow morning, so very early.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought you were kind of holidays or so.
No. So I've got a welcome day tomorrow in Frankfurt, and then
Oh, yeah.
and I go straight to studying.
On the tomorrow is a Friday. Okay. Saturday you are back then, or Sunday?
I'm back tomorrow evening.
Okay. Wow, that's a very exhausting day.
Yeah. And then Saturday I'll start studying. Sunday a little bit study and some more flight
You go
simming.
there by plane or by car or
No,
train?
No, plane tomorrow.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh no, we still got a bit to go, right? It's not that short, Brent. It's 28 miles still.
It is short, yes. 35 was the complete
Okay.
distance.
But low level, that's fine.
Sadly, nobody joined to us here.
Mark, yeah, well, I tell you what though, I'm very relaxed regarding tomorrow. So if I don't make it, well, I'll just call in and say sorry. It's not,
Okay.
yeah, it's. I mean, tomorrow is more bureaucratic stuff than anything else. So
Yeah.
fill out lots of application forms, update the EFB, that sort of stuff. So it's not really, such a key day, really.
Yeah, imagine you get a new job, and on the first day in the job, you're sick. Call in and you say to the chef, to the boss, one of the beers yesterday have been bad. I can't come.
Well, you got to be careful with the excuses. That's for sure. But yeah, no. So the type rating is I've always found it interesting, yes, but it is pretty strenuous. You don't have much time. And for me, like I said many times, I'm a slow learner. So anything in regards to theory, numbers, I need to do kind of repetitive learning until I can say that it sticks in my memory. I admire people that or envy people that just read something once and that's it, maybe twice, but then if they've really memorized it, for me,
Like Bruno and MCK, of course.
yeah. So for me, I have to do lots of repetitions until I can say that I'm confident with all the knowledge. However, my strong point, so there's a thing with everyone, all right? Usually you have strong points and you have weak points. Now, the strong point for me was flying has always been easy for me. So whenever I did, the practical stuff, that's where I excel always. So that's something I always look forward to. But theory, not so much.
Is the complete training up to the flat panel trainer, is it all computer-based training, or do we have kind of classroom training?
No, it's all. Well, 2 days is classroom. The rest is all self-study,
Okay.
computer-based training.
Yeah, I have to say I find kind of classroom training a bit better, because then I can get it better in my mind.
Everyone, so I don't know how you are, Brenold, regarding learning. For me, if I look at something on the computer screen, if it's animated, it's fine, But if it's just text
Yeah.
on a computer screen, it just doesn't stick with me. I need to write it down on paper. So I need to make little post-it notes. Or
It
little-
changed at me. As I was young, I had no problem to read a manual, and I had everything in my mind. I could get to the computer and could do everything. And even months or years later, I had all this in my mind. But today, I need to read every page 3 times, and then I maybe have 50% in my mind.
Yeah. See that? Okay, so age has something to do with it as well. At least that's a good excuse. So I noted that down. And yeah, but yeah, of course, if it's something you love doing and you find fascinating, then learning it is a lot easier.
Yeah, that's right. I think everything which has to do with aviation, sim flying, and so I can memorize very good. But other things I need to know, but I don't like to know. I can't really get in my mind.
Yeah. So for me, it's always like limitations, right? So what's the maximum speed for the wipers, or what's the maximum speed for the tires, or what's the minimum oil pressure, or whatever, or minimum minimum warm-up time, blah. It's these things that
you learn so much useless stuff there in these type ratings, which you will never need again. I think they have to throw this all away and only teach that things which you really need.
Yeah, like what's the total volume of your waste tank? I've learned today, was it 1,600 something liters?
Really, that much? Wow.
Yeah, and that's it. Ask me tomorrow, I will have forgotten. So,
how many liters of air are in the tires, in one tire?
Oh, I don't know. So these things, right? It's like, oh no.
Is there even air in the tire, or is there nitrogen?
Nitrogen.
Yeah. Is this complete nitrogen, or is it mixed?
Pretty sure it's a high percentage of nitrogen, because if you have these fuse plugs, and so if the nitrogen then is released, it doesn't burn. So if it's oxygen, and if the burning breaks, you just you would fuel the fire.
And I think oxygen can I don't know the English word, can diffundieren through the firewall, and nitrogen don't do that because the molecules are bigger or so.
Exactly. Yeah, that's also true.
I'm way too low.
What on earth happened there? Wow, good thing I just...
Are you down?
No, the aircraft is just really... I have a feeling something broke.
Okay.
Something's not right with the aircraft. I don't know if it's just a bug or...
Oh.
No! One of my flaps deployed. LOL.
You forgot it, or
no? I don't know, but it's just one-sided.
Okay, maybe it's a random failure.
Yeah.
But the one-sided deployed flaps, it's very difficult.
Yeah, no, now it's reset. What on earth was that?
Wonderful. Maybe Bruno hacked in your plane and set some failures for you.
Wow, well that was scary.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a death call. When you have one-side deployed flaps, you can't counter this with your ailerons.
Well, that got me...
flaps are way bigger than the ailerons.
Well, that woke me up. But what happened there?
I learned about the wingtip brakes last time in a video. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't know this before.
Yeah. Sounds very much like an A320.
Maybe, yeah. But I think every airplane does this have. It is because when you retract your flaps or extend your flaps, and one is broken, then the other one stops immediately, so you can't have a split flaps.
Yeah, they have asymmetry monitors.
Oh, connection lost. Nice.
Oh, you as well. Okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah. And it's a big patch on my screen. Can't see the runway. Go away. Ah, successfully connected.
Cool. No,
Can't they put this message on the top left, way out of my sight?
I don't know what it is. The aircraft still behaves a bit weird. Maybe just imagining things, but... But you guys saw that as well, right? One flap was up and the other one was full down. How strange. Right, I'm going to slow down. I need to check the functionality now of the flaps. Make sure I don't go short final, then flaps full, and suddenly I get this azimuthry again. So just put the gear down. Mixture full rich.
Have you frequently oiled up your flaps? Maybe. If not, then this can be the reason.
Do I have to do that?
Yeah, of course, it's your plane. You don't have a mechanic on your plane.
How do I lubricate the bearings for the flaps? Never seen that.
Yeah, take some oil and put it on.
Okay, so
In real.
oh, in real, I mean in the simulator. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have to look if there is an option for that.
So, all right. So, oh, good.
Wow, this approach is interesting.
So we are coming in pretty much perpendicular, so 90 degrees. And which direction did you land?
02, and you do a right-hand pattern.
Yeah, roger. Turning to the airport now.
And fly about 1 mile outbound.
Roger. Hey, Laranara, nice to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Good evening. How are you?
I need to press the stick to the front to get the plane under control after landing.
And stick figure, hello. You heard a developer say Maxo SDK did not allow for flap failure on one side. You could implement a failure more flaps on. Oh, okay. But then I don't know. That was then a glitch in the matrix. I don't know. Because you saw that. I went to the outside view and you saw these split flaps and it had the same asymmetric effect.
Wouldn't it have been a kind of shadow or so?
No. Because literally, it makes sense. The aircraft banked to the left. And that was because on the right-hand side, the flap was deployed and left wasn't.
Okay.
So yes, of course, more lift on the right-hand side. Aircraft goes.
I will have a look in your VOD.
Yeah. Yeah, and stick figure sword as well. Yeah. So definitely very weird behavior. Right. So there's the airport. That's the runway. Very interesting indeed. So we're going to go down to 1,000 feet or 800 feet. That's fine. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to start deploying more flaps just to make sure that we're not going to have an in for a bad surprise. What? Hang on. What's happening? Okay, I think I have a flap failure now for sure.
Again?
Well, flaps are...
One down, one up.
No. I've got full deployed flaps, but they don't come out.
Huh. Okay.
Maybe I just oversped them a bit. But I think my mechanic will let me know in a minute. He'll shout at me.
Jump out and use your parachute.
So we're going to do a little bit longer final. It's going to be a bit faster, but shouldn't be. How weird. So it's not a controller issue because, you know, you can see the handle. Anybody know, do we have an alternate flap? Not here, I don't think so. Careful now. Speed drop too far. Might stall the... So gears down, flaps, well, just one notch really. Almost up. But I think we'll get a notice after landing, right? We'll be able to see what's broken. Oh, wow. Okay, we're very high. How come we were that close to the runway there? we may...
Not that high. I think you can make it.
Yeah, but again, we don't have much drag.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't
Gears
wanna be-
down?
Yeah, gears down. I don't want to be too fast either. That's too slow, so that's fine. 110. Yeah, it's all right.
Side slip, yeah, side slip. Good idea.
Yeah, we're fine. Trying to get over the power cables there.
This was my best landing here.
Oh, okay, nice.
Was a nice one.
Yeah, good for the last one.
Yeah.
Go on. Oh, a little bouncy. Let's get the brakes on. Oof, we made it.
At least the brakes are working.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. There's a drop after the runway. Would not be
So,
nice.
Let's go back and let's see what happened to the...
Yeah. Hopefully it is not a add-on bug. It is intended, then it would be interesting.
Well, I mean, that makes the add-on very interesting though, right?
Yeah.
A mechanical, so let's say a linkage issue. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go shut off the engine. I'm going to go on the outside check and see if the flap is loose or something.
Yeah, let the flaps down,
Well,
and then let's have a look.
they're like one notch down only. I couldn't extend them any further.
Yes, it's good, because if you extend much more, then you have more difference between the lifts often on both sides. Then you maybe can't steer the aircraft anymore.
But we made it down safely.
Nice. There's one person. For me, there's no one.
Okay, let's see. And stop. Brakes set. Right.
Yeah, now let's have a look what happened.
So, let's go get that. And then I want to go... so this is just for the engine, airframe, inspect. Indeed. We have a flap failure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah, it shows you the flaps have failed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Launara, good to hear. Glad to hear that you're doing well. Well, there we go. So that's the first failure we got.
I can see it as well. The right one is extended and the left one is not extended.
Hang on.
Crazy.
Well, for me, the thing is, initially, yeah, you're right. It's asymmetric as well. So this is a little bit more.
For me, you left both tires are in the air.
Okay, but I mean, for the wings, sort of flaps.
Yeah, I can see. The right one is extended still. I see
Oh.
one notch.
Look at that. So you can actually click on the, thanks, goat friend. So you can click on the red icon and then, so right-hand line, if the flap is jammed. So maybe, because I oversped the flaps, but initially the thing was, so initially one of the flaps just deployed. So going to fix that.
I think you can, but it's expensive. I think
No, I think that's just for the,
$5,000 less.
I think that's just for the Challenger.
No,
Yeah.
both flaps are fully extended.
Now there should be back up again. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Engine inspect. Oh, okay, that's a cool tip, Goatfriend. I didn't know that. So now, with regard to that amber cylinder, so the compression is low on this cylinder and overhaul is recommended. However, it's technically still airworthy. Worn rings or valves are course, you may notice some misfires at idle at low RPM, but the cylinder is still able to produce full power. Okay. The cylinder may also burn more oil. Keep an eye on the engine monitor, CHT and EGT temps. If both start to show low temps, known as a cold cylinder, this will indicate a failing cylinder. Okay. Right, let's...
You can replace a cylinder in an aircraft, in an engine?
Yeah. I mean, in real life, it would be very expensive. I mean,
okay.
Definitely. Cool. Well, that's interesting. Quite like that. Nice. Okay, let's do that. Let's secure the... let's do the tie down as well. Chocks on. Tie down.
For tie downs, usually you would push your aircraft on the grass.
Yeah.
Oh, you have there metal. That's good as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a simulation there, but still, I like it.
Yep.
So where's my tie down here? It's missing.
P2 cover. Fantastic. Do you have 2 P2s?
No, just one P2. That's it.
Yep.
It's missing a tie down here. Alrighty, cool. Yeah, Brennell, thank you very much. As always, lovely tour.
You're welcome.
And yeah, next tour won't be too long. I'm sure that we can arrange some more flying. And the next airport is going to be very interesting. So let me just check if I already have it.
I will tell you later which aircraft we will use for that.
Okay. And then, yeah, we'll make an announcement and maybe some other people like to fly along. Because we've been here on at least the Q400.
Yes, this was very exciting with the Q400.
Oh, yeah.
How many legs are left now?
Let me have a look. Find the pirate. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, okay. That's not too much.
Yeah. So big thank you again for all of the support coming in. Thank you very, very much. And if you like, so note it down on Sunday. I am planning to fly the Concorde from London to New York, hopefully with an update. If not, we'll still fly it. I'm not going to
postpone. What time will it
start? It should be, yeah, same time as today, about 1500 UTC, so 5 in the afternoon German time.
Okay. I can see you have the Safjordor from Asobo, but I think there's also a payware for it, but I don't know if you have it. Maybe have a look.
No. I think that would have shown up here, but I'll have a look at it and see if it's worth getting.
You can enter there Bravo India India Sierra in the search field on the top.
Yeah, it only gave out the
okay.
the sober one, unfortunately. But I can have a look at the marketplace.
As I bought it, it was about 8 or 9 euros.
Oh yeah, it's not too much. But I have to compare it, what the difference is between the Asobo one and the...
Yeah, it looks better. For example, last day, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, came EDDK from Asobo, which is made from Inibuilds, and I looked at it, and it was okay, but I also have the Cologne from Aerosoft, and this is way better.
Okay.
I will stick with the Aerosoft one and deinstall the from Inibuilds.
Yeah. I will have a look. Okay, Brent. So have a good week and see you soon.
Okay.
And everyone, thanks for the support. And yeah, see you Sunday if you like. Looking forward to it. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Black Box.